be quite awful. I guess the two best ones are gonna be these. Was it lethal? Did I miss it? Hi guys, Yacca here. So this time I am bringing you Token Druid. I've been playing this quite a bit, and overall it has a really good win rate. Especially up towards Legend and in the early Legend ranks as well. It really drops off at the top 1k Legend, but other than that, it actually has a really positive win rate. Of course, there are some intricacies to the deck, not too much, but you really have to be cautious about the way that you actually go about playing it. There's another list, this Token Druid with Gibbling, and Gibbling is a really high win rate card, but I've chosen a list which does not have it. I just think it's so disheartening whenever you drop your Fungal Fortunes, then you discard your Gibblings. And generally, you could choose either or, honestly. I just think this has given me the best success trying to push up the ranks. A little bit about the Mulligan. There are some things you have to be careful about, a little bit of match up specific things, but generally Fungal Fortunes and Glowfly Swarm are the two best keeps in your Mulligan. Many are keeping Nature Studies, but honestly speaking, that might not be all that good. I'm over keeping that one as well, but I'm becoming a little bit more cautious about it. And then you have your Reinforcements and your Dreamway Guardians. Those four cards: Reinforcements, Dreamway Guardians, Glowfly Swarm, and also Fungal Fortunes are really great keeps in the early game. The exception is Fungal Fortunes is actually not that good in the mirror, because you really want to fight for the board. But that's the only exception where you do not want to keep Fungal Fortunes in your opening hand. Other than that, you really want to fight for the board when you're in a mirror match, whether it's Treant, token with Gibbling, or whatever is the case that the opponent that you're facing. One thing that I can see from the win rate stats is that Lightning Bloom is heavily overkept. It is one of the lower win rate cards. It has a high played win rate, of course, because you do some really naughty things with the Lightning Bloom. Challenge is, it doesn't really do all that much unless you have supporting cards in your starting hand. But there, you don't really want to keep this. Another honorable mention is Arbor Up. There you go. Arbor Up is not as good early game in the Mulligan. It's a good card, definitely. One of the main combos you have in here for 7 mana, you can Solar Eclipse into Arbor Up and develop 20 damage on the board just from those two cards, through establishing 4 heavy Treants on the board. So it is a really good card, but in the Mulligan it's not all that great to keep. The exception to that is against Warrior and Priest, where you have a higher Mulligan win rate, meaning that you keep this in the Mulligan over Glowfly Swarm. It is simply too easy for those two classes to manage a board of 2/2s, and therefore Arbor Up is your better choice whenever you are facing Priest and Warrior. Other than that, you win through establishing dominance on the board. You want to build a few minions, and then you can do some surprise lethal. So always be aware of what do you have in your hand. You have your board buffs. You have Power of the Wild, Blessing of the Ancients, maybe you could even, one combo I am particularly fond of on, for instance, turn 5, is to Solar Eclipse into the first spell of Blessing of Ancients, which buffs your board twice and gives you 2 follow-up spells from Blessing of the Ancients. And of course you also have your Solar Eclipse into Savage Roar, which gives each and every token on the board additional 4 attack, including your hero. So that's also a good combo worth keeping in mind. And another one to mention could be Solar Eclipse into Soul of the Forest, essentially making sure that each and every token you have on the board spawns 2 more. So that's also a very good combo. But as I mentioned in the beginning, build the board, and whenever you are low on cards, you have to hope that you draw into Rising Winds. Rising Winds is actually also quite a good keep. It is on the low end compared to the other 4 cards that I mentioned. If you do have a Rising Winds in your hand, you can consider keeping this in order to have some kind of consistency where you can drop a minion on the board. But other than that, the other cards are really what you want to go for. So talking about drawing, you have your Rising Winds and you have your Fungal Fortunes. So those are your card draw cards, but you actually want to win quite early in the game. You don't want to have a late game push here, so it is an aggressive deck. Talking about the matchups, however, even though you are an aggressive deck, you are struggling a little bit about towards the hyper aggressive decks. And so for instance, like Aggro Demon Hunter, Highlander Hunter, also some builds of the of Rogue, because they are really tempo heavy. Talking about Rogue, there is another keep there you have to keep in mind. In the Mulligan against Rogue, actually Lightning Bloom, because it's such a tempo driven matchup, is at the very top of the Mulligan win rates. So you really want to keep a Lightning Bloom. Maybe if you're on the coin you don't have to, but if you're not on the coin, to keep up with the Rogue's tempo playing, you really want a Lightning Bloom. But that's the only class you want to keep Lightning Bloom against. I think this is the general rundown of the deck. You had a Mulligan guide, something about win rates against something that is not really hyper aggressive, and if you manage to mitigate the Rogue tempo plays, then you have a then you are quite green across the board, so you have a positive win rate against more or less everything else. Of course you can lose, but there's no auto wins, but again there's no auto losers. The worst matchup you have is actually against Secret Mage, maybe some kind of Tempo Mage as well. There you actually do struggle quite a bit, but again you can still win that specific matchup. So nothing that is really insanely unfavored, but nothing that is completely auto-win either. So it is quite a good stable deck, and if you learn the ins and outs of the deck, then you will have a good time climbing with a token Druid. I really hope you like this, and you know the jazz. Hit that subscription button, come on, you know you want to do it, and also hit the notification bell whenever new videos are coming up. And if you're up for a comment or a like, please drop that as well. And let's head on into the gameplay so you can see the Token Druid deck in action. Could be Ram Paladin. It's probably one of the most popular lists. I guess I can keep this. Lightning Bloom is going to be my own scam card. Double Lightning Bloom. Now I just need something crazy, like Arbor Up. I can't play these as this is going to be the first spell that is played, which would be the 0 cost ones, are the ones that are discounted. But I can do this. And then we can do this. I get 2 turns of me pounding his face before he can do anything. Should be able to manage like turn 2 and 3.
Let me think.
Unless he has like a really special list, it is there's no wave of apathy or anything. That's kind of the best choice a paladin has to manage a board like this. $13 points of damage. I guess I ignore that one, right? Or is there a chance that he can buff it? These two go face. If that one goes face as well, it goes to 16. And that is lethal from what I can see. I think it's worth the risk. Oh, it's one off. But I could get like Adorable Infestation, then it's lethal. It's Broom. He has a Broom. Oh man. Then he can clear 2. But I can still develop the board. 2 Rising Winds. 2 Rising Winds and then Arbor up again. He had to invest a bunch of resources in the last one. So right now, just with Blessing of the Ancients, that's just lethal. But so it's the same with Arbor up, right? Even that, Arbor up is 7 and then another 4. 11, and that's not lethal.
I wonder.
But it represents the strongest board that I can have out there. Okay. He's struggling. Arbor up is then the answer here. That's the strongest board. And then again, lethal again. Yes, only 1 minion. That's fine. Whoa. Cool. Druid Guardians could be fine. Arbor up is a little bit too early. Okay, double Savage Raw. Ah! But bees could be good.
Care to make a wager, friend?
Just don't shadow step anything, okay? That's fine. I guess we can do this to see what we discover. Another bees? Or solar? That's a bit tricky actually. Because I want to go for solar. But bees could develop like broad boards and stuff. Maybe it's bees. Maybe it's bees. And then we'll use the generated one. And maybe next turn it's gonna be bees again. Alternatively, it could be hero power and power the wild. This one lines up quite well.
What to do?
I can use B's hero power on the next turn.
For the wild.
With the generated mate spell, I'll play around combustion. Okay, so shenanigans. Shenanigans doesn't really hurt me all that much. And ambush is completely irrelevant. I guess it's not for blackjack starter, but pardon me. Okay. Then I guess I can just bees and Crystal Druid again. Bees and Dreamwake Guardian. Actually, that would trigger ambush. Let's keep that Crystal Druid in my hand, actually. Should we? I am up to 5 and 20. I actually do have lethal. If he just kills off one minion. Okay, fair enough. What, Joe? If you're holding a secret, then what? Cast it and draw a card. Oh yeah. This is quite annoying because I don't really want ambush to trigger. I could also test for shenanigans. That's ambush. Swoop in.
For the wild. I'm waiting for no one.
Need to build a board somehow, but I have Arbor Up, Glowfly Swarm, all this kind of stuff.
On the wings of evil.
I guess if nothing else, then I could Crystal Druid, Reinforcements, and Soul of the Forest on the next turn. Oh, another secret. Another dragon? Why is he building a big Edwing? Okay, no Edwin. Glowfly, there we go. Let's do this, and then we'll see. A minion. I mean reinforcements. Or the hero power. Guess the hero power. Oops. It's been a million years since I've seen Bamboozle. Do. Fungal Fortunes. Could be. If I draw Arbor up, Glowfly Swarm, Bees. Sure. Arbor up. Go time. I'm getting to a lot of mana now. I could choose to... Okay. I could choose to drop the minions. And then Soul of the Forest. Wait a minute. How much do I have? That's like 4, 8, 12. Am I one off? No, I don't think so. I can actually do this. 4, 8. 4, 8. 12, 13, 14. Sure. Let's go. Out of nowhere. Crazy, man. Alright, against the Paladin Bees, I seem to remember that being fine. And we get 2 of them. Yeah. Maybe... Okay, it's Libram. I can choose to just do this. And we'll see. If he has a Libram... Either way, if he has a Libram or Eldar... What are we looking into here? I think bees. So we do this and bees. Yeah, pardon for the noise in the background. She's just one of the kids. And apparently all of a sudden wants to sing opera. Oh, bees is good again. And then what? Is it blessing? I guess it could be. So we beast that. Lightning. Blessing. Broad boards for him. If he has consecration, it's a pure paladin build. What? That's not fair. I guess we can just do this. Hit into those guys. And then do an adorable infestation. Next turn, I could choose to muscle cup, solar eclipse into blessing, and then we're just more or less all in. Okay, that is way better on the next turn, but I think I have to do it right now. To do this and that. I have to. Best trades would be these guys. This place around consecration. And then we'll see. I was kind of dreading that a little bit. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Savage Roar. Bees? No, not really. Iron Bark. I guess I can reload with Forest's 8. So we can hit. It's gonna be 4. And that's gonna be, yeah. So I can do this. And unfortunately, it's gonna be quite awful. I guess the two best ones are gonna be these. Was it lethal? Did I miss it? I was just so focused on the board. It might have been lethal. I don't think so.